Morning, everybody. Wanted to give you a quick update of what the weather is going to look like here over the next couple of days. We are going to be experiencing some uh, winter weather and a variety of it. And so we're going to start here at the surface. And I want to talk a little bit about why this is going to come through basically in two waves, and also why why that's going to be somewhat problematic here. Sound real quick and make sure that I'm using the right input. Sorry about that. Sorry about the wait there. I know we've had lots of issues with that in the past. Okay, there we go. Sorry, sound looks good. So, to summarize a little bit about what's going on with the weather, over the next couple of days, we're going to see 2 rounds of precipitation. We're going to see a round tomorrow, and we're going to see a round on Friday. And the culprit here is all about this front, which is sort of draped, as you can see, all the way kind of along the eastern, from basically the Mississippi River Valley up across across southern New England, basically. And we have this has sort of slid south over the last day or so, which has brought in slightly cooler air, although we're in the low 30s this morning. It's not as if we have a lot of real cool or cold air anywhere around. The cold air is kind of behind this front up here in Canada. This front is not going to go anywhere. There is some colder air across Canada, but we have no high pressure system. So one of the reasons that this storm is going to be kind of a mess is because there's no high pressure system. Normally, to get a good snowstorm, you would want a high pressure system located somewhere in this area, or even a little more further north potentially. But anyways, that would kind of lock the cold air in as the warm air from a low pressure system rode up over it. There is no high pressure system here. The high pressure system is way back here. That's not an ideal setup for us to get snow, but there's tons of moisture and precipitation involved in this storm. So let's take a quick look. I want to look at, let me erase my squiggles, and let's look at the satellite imagery, and you can really see that moisture. We looked at this the other day when we had this moisture feed that was tapping all the way down through Mexico into the Pacific. That continues to be the case. We're building lots of moisture. You can see we've actually already had a lot of moisture kind of head out to our south. Yesterday, I thought we might get some precipitation out of that. It ended up just being kind of a cloudy gray day. We didn't really get any precip out of yesterday's event, but we will definitely get rounds of precipitation out of the next 2 events here. So what's going to happen with that? Well, if we look at radar, it kind of tells the story. Oops. Let's bring me back. And that's not radar, that's the satellite. Sorry about that. That's radar. Okay, as you can see, we kind of have this battle lines drawn, and there's none of this precipitation here. None of this is really reaching the ground. I don't think we're really going to get any snow today, although it will be another gray day. But you can see that the radar wants to make that snow if it was snow. And the rain line is somewhere kind of draped down through here. What's going to happen is the storm, which is tomorrow's main event, is kind of developing right in this area here today. This is going to kind of track up and kind of actually that's a little too far west, too far east, more to our west, and bring us a transition period tomorrow. Basically, we are going to have that warm air kind of sliding up over the cold air, and so we're going to start as snow. We'll start as snow before daybreak. I'd say we see 1 to 3 inches of snow tomorrow by about 8 to somewhere between 8 and 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Certainly by 11 o'clock, we'd be transitioned from snow to sleet. Probably sleet starts to mix in as early as 8 o'clock. And what happens then is that slowly transitions fully to sleet. Then we mix in a little freezing rain with that before the first round of precipitation starts to basically die out sometime mid-afternoon tomorrow, with kind of some lingering freezing rain and drizzle. All told, I think we're actually not going to get a huge accumulation. Like I said, 1 to 3 inches, and we may get another ½ inch of sleet, which will mostly just serve to compact the snow down. So not a lot, kind of just a crusty coating. It will probably mean that the roads are pretty bad tomorrow. I would say school is definitely in doubt for a lot of locations. It will be a little worse at higher elevations, although I think even everybody starts as snow and goes to sleet. It's how long that lingers. So if you're in the Connecticut River Valley, if you're in Springfield or Bellows Falls or Brattleboro, you're probably looking at a more at a quicker transition to plain rain as the warm air has a little bit easier time getting in there, and particularly west of the Green Mountains. So if you're in Bennington, Manchester, even up into Rutland, although Rutland might get protected a little bit longer, but Bennington, Rutland, Bennington, Manchester area, you're definitely going to change over to plain rain probably by or maybe even late morning to midday tomorrow. Although it'll probably be slick for everybody in the morning. Then we basically get a break for a few hours, and then by the middle of the night tomorrow night, we start precipitation back up. We'll probably start as rain, and we kind of go the other direction on Friday. And there's still quite a bit of question marks about how quickly we transition. Some of the models want to transition us pretty quickly to snow. We go from rain to basically snow within a couple hours, and we're snowing by as early as daybreak on Friday. There's a pretty good slug of moisture there, so if that were to happen, we could see not a massive snowfall, but we could certainly see anywhere 5 to 8 inches of snow wouldn't be out of the question if we transition early. I think that's a bit ambitious. Transitioning back to snow, I find models almost always want to overdo that in the Northeast. So how quickly that happens. So my anticipation is it'll take a while for us to transition back to snow. And that we're looking at probably just probably 2 to 4 inches of snow or so on the backside on Friday, and we probably transition back over sometime late morning from rain to snow. There could be a brief transition period of sleet in between the two. I don't think that'll be too significant. If you go the further north and west you go, the more time you'll spend in the snow, and so potentially more accumulation. If you're up in like the Rutland area, even potentially, and kind of west of the Green Mountains. Sometimes it takes that the colder air as it rushes back in a little bit more time to make it through the mountains. Actually, the mountains actually work against us sometimes there. Although at higher elevations that'll happen quicker, so the ski areas would see more on that second round of precipitation. And that will end as snow, and we'll get a little colder then for the weekend. Not cold by any stretch of the imagination, but a little cooler for the weekend after that. So let me show you that in terms of a forecast discussion. So just to recap, snow starts overnight tonight, accumulating 1 to 3 inches, and starts to mix with and change to sleet by mid-morning tomorrow. And sleet then mixes and changes to freezing rain by afternoon before letting up. Roads will be kind of a mess tomorrow, and I think school is definitely in jeopardy. On Friday, rain begins overnight Thursday and changes to snow sometime on Friday. Like I said, could happen earlier. I would say probably a little bit later. I'm thinking like late morning on that. So school's probably a go on Friday, but again, not a guarantee if we transition earlier. Accumulations 2 to 5 inches. Like I said, there's lots of uncertainty. I could certainly see a scenario where we end up almost all rain on Friday. I could certainly see a scenario where we end up more snow, and some places could get 7, 8 inches of snow. So I know that's 2 days out. That's kind of a ridiculous forecast, but it's one of those very touch and go situations. So that's probably the most honest answer I can give you. All those scenarios are possible given the setup in the atmosphere right now. So bear with me. I'll try to. Hopefully that will become a little clearer as we head into this evening and into tomorrow morning. I will give you a text update this evening, and I'll probably go live again tomorrow morning, but I'll let you know that in the text update. If you've got questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section below. Otherwise, stay safe today, and like I said, be prepared for tomorrow. Lots of travel delays and things like that. Have a good day.